Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1903. Lists galore. Oh my gosh. So if you haven't heard, I'm moving to New Zealand next year. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done between now and then. So yesterday I finally sat down after keeping the stuff in my head. Finally got out into a spreadsheet. These are my expenses coming up for the move or before the move that I need to take into account. And then this is the list of stuff that I need to sell. And then I've got a column next to that with the prices I'm going to be putting on stuff and then what price I actually get. So that's keeping track of all of that, which was kind of really cool. And I was talking with my accountability coach today and letting her know. So, I had this figure in my head and I kept subtracting stuff. And then when I actually sat down, I said, because the subtracting stuff, I'll get to a certain point and go, okay, now have I already taken that off or have I not taken that off? But I said, but once it was there and it's actually on the spreadsheet, it made so much more sense. And I said, I put everything in there and it came out to $2 over the number that I had started with in my head. Excuse me. And so that was kind of cool. And I said, I've since added other stuff on there, but because I know it's going to be put them on there, even though they're not a moving expense, but I know it's a major expense that's still coming up this year, like annual subscriptions and stuff like my Ancestry annual subscription, my Heritage annual subscription, my Prime annual subscription, just those big ones that come out. Oh, and Meetup is the other one that's on there as well. So there's these ones that come up towards the end of the year. And so I have all of them. I have them all listed on there. So I got that done. And then, of course, on the spreadsheet, I'm just calling it New Zealand moving lists. And then on that spreadsheet, I also have, actually have a grocery list. Yes, I am taking it to the grocery list level of just for pantry staples. What do I need in my pantry just to get started? What are some staples that I need, like quinoa, chia seeds, coconut flour, almond flour, just, where did that light go? You see that light come flashing through there? Angels are around again. Just things like, chocolate. Chocolate is a major necessity in any pantry. Well, it goes in the refrigerator and the little chocolate shelf. Yes, I have my little chocolate shelf. And I designate an area in my refrigerator for chocolate, and only chocolate is allowed in there, and nobody's allowed to touch it except for me. It was much easier in the fridge we had in Solana Beach because we had the refrigerator on top and then the freezer on the bottom, and our refrigerator door was about this wide. And across the bottom, you know how on a fridge door, it's got the indentation, then it's got the shelf that comes out. It uses the indentation, then uses a shelf piece that comes in. Well, across the very bottom of that indentation, they just had a piece of clear plastic that went across there. And because it was tucked in there, all the tall people in the house could not see it. Brad was 6'5". He couldn't see what was in my chocolate tray. So I just designated that my chocolate tray because I was at the right height at 5'4", where I could see what was in that tray. So when any of the boys came over, they're all over 6 feet. None of them could see my chocolate shelf. It was awesome. It was a great thing. And even when I had to sell it and the guy came to pick it up, I said, I have to show you a really cool feature on this. And I opened the door and he goes, what? And he's like over 6 foot. And I said, you got to bend down to see this though. I said, this here makes a great chocolate shelf. He goes, oh, my wife likes chocolate. I said, that's her shelf. He's like, got it. So even when we sold it with a feature of having a chocolate shelf. So chocolate's on the list there as well. And I'm already making my little chocolate list of necessities. So then I also have gone through in the kitchen, in the dining room, in the living room, in the master bedroom, in the guest room, in the office room, because I'm looking at three bedroom house. So it's going to be the master bedroom, the guest room, and my office. And so what do I need in each of those rooms to have it functional? In my office, I'm going to need a desk. I'm going to need a chair. I'm going to need a chair mat. And how big of a desk do I want? It's going to depend on the room layout and that sort of thing as well. So I'm making up these lists of what furniture pieces am I going to be putting in those rooms and that I'm going to have to purchase for those rooms. And I even thought, if I find the house and I can move in before my stuff arrives, then considering the fact I'm buying and I have to buy most of the furniture anyway, I can go buy my guest bed and get that set up in the guest room. And I can stay in that room until my stuff arrives. And then I can go move into the master bedroom when my bed arrives and I get all that made up. So I thought, that's pretty cool. So the guest room will be done before the master bedroom's done, if it works out that way, which I'm hoping it does. Not because I don't want to be, no, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my parents. I definitely want to stay with them and catch up with them and all of that. But I know that my routine with my work and all of that sort of thing it's going to cramp the house a little bit. Yes, I'm going to have a room they're going to sleep in, and they're turning their third bedroom into an office for me so that I've got somewhere I can sit and do all my work and stuff. And I know that that's going to, and especially if I've got to get up at, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to get online for stuff over here that's happening in the morning over here. I just don't want to have to do that too often because I want them to, have their house and get their sleep and get good sleep and all of that. And I know Zeffie's going to want to be in the room with me. She's probably want to go out at some point. And so I don't want to be too disruptive in the house. And so I think it would be good for, it's going to be great catching up with my parents and everything else, but I think it's going to be good for everybody if I don't stay there too long because I really don't want to disrupt their house too much. And, having them wake up when I get up in the morning because my alarm clock's going to go off. For me to get up and then get dressed and everything else to get on camera, be camera ready at, 2, I'm going to be getting up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to get online for an 8 a.m. start or 7 or an 8 a.m. start over here. So I want to try and keep that to a minimum. And at least I know in advance when it's going to happen so I can let them know, but I really don't want to disrupt their sleep because of that. So yes, but I figured, and then I was like thinking, well, hang on, all my kitchen stuff's coming, like plates, knives and forks, all of that sort of thing. And I thought, well, hang on, I have the stuff from the RV, which is corral, which is usually pretty indestructible. So I thought, well, if I pack that stuff into my checked bags, I can at least take that with me and have it with me that I can use until the stuff arrives. And since I have to replace my air fryer, my Instapot, and my Vitamix, those are going to be 3 major appliances. Those are going to be my 3 major purchases for the new house. Once I find a place, that's going to be one of my first purchases to go get those because once I've got those, I'm pretty much set. Yes, I will need oven mitts with me as well. But I can cook just about anything. Between those 3, I can cook just about anything. So, yes, that would be one of that. So that's on the list. So I have I have got the list prioritized as well as to, we absolutely have to get this. So the air fryer, the Instapot, and the Vitamix are 3. We have to get those as soon as we get a place. It's going to be like the first purchases for the house. And then the guest bed will be the other one. So we can at least stay in the house and things like that. So, and a desk. We'll definitely need a desk at that point. Even if I just get a dining table. Actually, the dining table will do. If we get the dining table, that will do as a desk until everything else arrives and we get settled and all of that. Because, yeah. So I'm making lists. I've got the rooms. I've got the rooms of the house sorted out as to what I want to get for each room, what I need to get and everything else. And so the lists are there. And I'm going to be prioritizing those lists. This is what I need to purchase when I get down there. And so those lists are off to the side for now. But when I come across something here that I have that's electrical that I have to sell, like my air fryer, my Instapot, and my Vitamix, those items are going on my list for purchasing when I get to New Zealand. Once I get my house in New Zealand. And so I have to tell you, it's driving me bonkers. And every time I walk into a room, I'm like, oh, yes, I have to sell that. I come in, I type it on the list to sell. So I've got these lists going. And then I've got this weekend, I am going to sit down and create my major timeline. So with all of these lists and everything else, I need to have a timeline on when things have to be done by. Like there's stuff I can go and sell right now because I haven't used it since I moved into the house, and I'm not likely going to use it before I move. So we need to get that stuff up online right now selling. So that's this weekend's job, is to do that. The other job I'm going to be doing this weekend is early morning going over to where the RV is parked in the storage it's parked in. And I'm going to have to jump start it because I forgot to put the battery trickler on. I do have a battery trickler and I totally forgot to put it on. I just didn't get time to get over there and put it on. So I'm going to have to jump start it, and then I'm going to actually move it out of the bay that it's in the storage, and they've got this big open area at the back of the storage area. And so I'm then going to go over there with the RV, put the slides out, make up the bed, which is basically putting the cover on. I still have the original cover and pillows and everything for the bed, so I'm going to put all that back into place, and just make it look ready and take pictures of it. There's still stuff that I do have to clear out of there, so I'll be taking over some empty boxes with me and getting in there and getting that last little bit of stuff out of there. Yeah, just basically taking pictures of it so I can put them up online. And then when I put it, and I'm going to be leaving the engine going the whole time, then I'm going to put it back into the bay, and then I will put the battery trickler onto it at that point. So if anybody wants to come and see it, at least it's going to start. That's my only concern, is the thing starts so they can drive it. But oh yeah, and I have to take the registration. It's been sitting in the bay so long, I still have the envelope with the registration sticker for the license plate still sitting here because I haven't been able to put the new ones on, which were from January. So it's still sitting there with January last year's stickers, with 2023 stickers on there, and it doesn't have the 2024 stickers on there. So that will be another thing we'll be taking care of as well. So yeah, we'll be pulling the last of the little bit of stuffs out of there. This is on my list to do. And then the other thing I'm going to be doing this weekend is creating a master timeline, a master sheet with the timeline on it, on what needs to be done by when. Like this is an absolute deadline. This is a deadline. This is a deadline. Putting the deadlines on there, and figuring things out. So lists galore. So when you move, what lists do you make? And then I'm having fun with some of the international shippers. They are sending me like these massive spreadsheets that they want me to go and try and find a king bed on there and my buffet and mark them off. And then I've got, and those are the only 2 pieces of furniture I'm taking. So everything else has to be packed into boxes. And so I've told them that I've estimated I'm going to be taking about 30 1.5 cubic feet boxes with books. I've estimated 8 and I've overestimated. I can tell you right now, I have overestimated these numbers. 8 1.5 cubic meter boxes full of DVDs and Blu-ray discs. And then add to that 2 12 by 12 inch binders full of discs. So I'm getting down the nitty gritty. And then I've got other things. I've got these big plastic containers with craft supplies in them. So I've got the measurements, and I say the average measurement of these containers. I say there's 13 of these containers, and the average measurement is this. This tall, this wide, this long, and everything else. And so I've got like all this stuff listed. And then I said, well, my kitchen has to be packed. And you're talking dishes, cutlery, glasses, mugs, bakeware, cookware, storage containers, anything related to pots and pans, all have to be packed. And it'll be anything that's non-electrical. Although when I am going around and I'm looking at stuff that's electrical, I'm looking at the plug that goes in the wall, because some of them have a rectangular plug on. So I'm looking at those. And if it says that the input is 110 to 240, that gets to come with me. So my 2 favorite oil diffusers, those get to come with me because they do 110 to 240. I just have to put an adapter plug on it and it's good to go. So I'm like, yay, I get to take my oil diffusers with me. Yay. And then I've got another thing that I absolutely love to put on in the sometimes in mid-afternoon. But I really can't do it mid-afternoon because I've got that window in my bedroom which doesn't have a blind over it or anything else, and it works best at night when it's dark. So sometimes at night I put this thing on, and what's it called? Called Sky Bliss, I think it's called. It's this really cool device. It's round, and it has this projector thing on it that will put galaxies and nebulas and stuff on your ceiling, and you can choose the different ones, and it all works from an app on your phone. And I looked at it the other day, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to get rid of that. And then I looked at the plug, 110 to 240. Yes, just need a plug adapter. Yes. So there's been a lot of excitement around the house when I can find items like that have the built-in, that will take the 110 to the 240 and convert it to whatever the instrument needs that I can take. And I just got to put a plug adapter on the end. So I'm like, yes. A lot of stuff is not going to need power conversion because the devices already have it. So if you're looking to see, if you're going traveling, this is a good tip when you're going traveling. If you're going traveling, like even my electric toothbrush has 110 to 240 on it. I'm like, yes, I get to take that. And I just need to put an adapter plug on it so it will fit into the power there. I don't have to worry about a power adapter. It's already built in. So look at the plug. I'm trying to see if I can. No, I can't pull that forward. I don't have any plugs handy. Nope. I don't have any plugs handy. But if you've got like plugs that have the little boxes on it, I mean, even the little things that you use for USB cables and things. Do I have one of those? No, I don't have one of those. Even those little adapters, if you look at those in the fine print, it'll have on there, most of them will have on there 110 to 240. So all you got to do is put a plug adapter on there, which means that you can plug it into whatever country you're going to. I actually have a kit somewhere that has a power converter in it that will drop it from 240 down to 110. So I have that power converter already, and it's got plugs in it. And then I have actual plug adapters, which will take the plug from being a US plug to being whatever will fit in Europe, whatever will fit in Australia and New Zealand, because Australia and New Zealand use the same plug. So I've got it comes complete with different plug attachments. So whatever country I'm in, I can just take out that adapter, slip it on there, and I can now plug it into the wall supply there. And then the box will take care of the conversions and stuff. Because some of them will have like the USB ports on there, and I just plug it straight in that way as well. And my one also has the, what do they call it, USB-C? I think it is. Yeah, the USB-C. No, USB-C. Where it has that thin, narrow one that Apple uses quite a lot now. I can plug that in where it's different to the regular USB cable. So travel tip, get yourselves one of those conversion kits that not only has the power adapter in there, but also has the plug adapters. And look to see what you can use with the power adapter. A lot of them are like charging your phones, using your laptops, using tablets. And a lot of them will say, do not use hair dryers, curling irons, straightening things, basically anything that requires heat, because they can be a fire hazard to the power converter box as well. So just as an FYI. All right, so that's it from us for today for lists. So what lists do you do when you're moving? Do you do a master timeline? And so you know when you've got to have stuff done by. That's going to be a fun thing to do this weekend. So now, the chocolate time. We're coming to chocolate bliss time. Yes, we've got our little box here. Let's see what we got in here. Still got my tube of chocolate. This is going to be the absolute last thing that's going to be left in here. It's going to be this. This, if you haven't tasted this, the cocoa cream, it is better than Nutella. Absolutely. All right. We're going to do this one. We're going to do a Pella. Oh, Pella. I'm going to do this one. It looks like it's got white chocolate. So put my tube of cream back in there. Put the nutrition information in there. The date conversion thingy. And the other half got eaten at breakfast this morning of the one I did yesterday. Okay. The Apella 3, it's even got 3 gen. Oh, you can't see that very well on there. I don't like my light. Sometimes I don't like my light. You see, yeah, there, 3 gen. It's got 3, so it's Apella 3 gen. All right, Apella 3 gen, white chocolate wafer. Experience pure elegance with Apella white chocolate wafer. Each bite is a journey into velvety indulgence, where delicate layers of wafer enfold in rich white chocolate filling. That's going to be sweet because I'm not a white chocolate fan, except for my white chocolate apple strudel that I had in Budapest from the bakery stand at the Christmas market. Was the best apple strudel I have ever had, and I had it 3 nights in a row. Yes, Brad had to get his own. I wouldn't even share it with him. Anyway, back to this. The symphony of textures and flavors evokes a sensation of sophistication and delight. Elevate your senses with this exquisite treat that embodies the art of savoring life's little luxuries. All right. Now, I usually find white chocolate to be very, very sweet. So this could be another one that might have to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee to go with it. So let's rip this one open. White chocolate wafer. Like a white chocolate Kit Kat. Kind of looks like that, doesn't it? surprisingly, it is not sweet. Not as sweet as a lot of white chocolate I've had. Definitely vanilla flavor. Got a nice crunch to it. You can see the layers there. Hang on. We'll shade it. So you can see the layers there. I'm going to shade it from the light because it's white. Actually, that's not bad. Not my favorite, but it's not bad. It's not overly sweet as I thought it would be, because a lot of white chocolate stuff I've had has always been very, very sweet. But this is not, that would actually go good with a cup of tea. That's what we're going to do. Have it with our cup of tea in the morning. I tell you, I'm really enjoying this travel through this box. Don't know about you guys, but I see it in the fridge every day and I'm like, oh, what am I going to try tonight? And I will not touch it, because if I touch it, I'll probably end up opening something and eating something, and then I've got to make up an excuse. Like my willpower suffered. Well, that actually is not, it is not as sweet as a lot of white chocolate that I have had. It kind of reminds me of when we're talking about the apple strudel, the white chocolate apple strudel in Budapest. It kind of reminds me of that. It would go really good with apples. That would. That's what it reminds me of. Everything except the apples. But it reminds me of that taste that I had in Budapest, in Hungary, when we did the white chocolate apple strudel. That kind of what that reminds me of, and it's just missing the apples to go with it. So, but yeah, surprisingly, that was not as sweet as normal white chocolate that I have had in the past, which I totally avoid because it is too sweet. That was actually very pleasant. Yeah. Would I have it again? Well, I'll finish that off tomorrow with my cup of tea, because it will go perfectly with my cup of tea. But that's it from us for tonight. If you want to experience your own Choco Bliss, go scan the QR code. It will take you to Amazon, where I am an affiliate, and we'll get paid a commission on it for any purchases from it. I do have to put that disclosure in there. It doesn't cost you any extra, though. It doesn't cost you any extra. You'll pay what I paid for the box, which I think was $20. I think. Can't remember. What did I pay for that box? But it's all Turkish. It's all Turkish. It's a Turkish snack box. It's actually really good chocolate in there. So Zeffy Girl's ready to go for a WA, okay? So we're going to go do that now. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.